Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to Changing the Questions. I don't even know what to call this. This is basically just me...
The Roundtable!
Rounding up as many people as I could possibly find. As everybody has probably heard by now, the sky has fallen. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson have all put in their notice to New Japan, so they're going to be wrapping up their time there, and the prevailing rumor is that at least one of them, if not all of them, are headed to WWE. I've gathered up a number of different people for this to talk about this because this is probably the biggest wrestling news that's happened in a very, very long time. Let me go ahead and introduce everybody. To my left, I have Daniel Peruzzi, a newcomer to Change the Question. Say hi, Dan.
Hey.
To my left, his left, I guess we're going clockwise around the table. I have my usual partner in crime, Mike Miner.
What's going on, guys?
To his left, we have Johnny Patches.
Hello.
Dominic Schmidt to his left.
I'm back.
And to my right, we have another newcomer, Mr. William Pickles.
Hi, everyone.
The lowest voice possible.
Very enthused.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what we know so far, and this is all we know, is that yesterday, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows have let New Japan front offices know that their time has come up, that they're not going to be working for them going forward. They're going to be finishing up certain things. Shinsuke Nakamura still has the title, so it looks like he will be involved with the company for at least a little bit longer. They booked an angle at their New Year's Dash show against where Kenny Omega and AJ Styles took on Shinsuke Nakamura and another partner. I don't remember who the partner was in a tag match, but they're playing it out like Kenny Omega is going to be pushing into the Intercontinental title scene. Also, the Bullet Club turned on AJ Styles. That also includes Anderson and Doc Gallows turned on him, so that lends some credence to AJ being gone. Now, you will see in a lot of different places that these guys are confirmed signing with WWE. Nothing is confirmed. First of all, with Nakamura, there's going to be visa issues. He's not going to show up right away. There's going to be paperwork they're going to have to sort out with that. Also, AJ was never technically under contract to New Japan. He was just independent. He could kind of come and go as he pleased. Same thing with Doc Gallows. Carl Anderson was under contract, but there's also rumors that those guys just may want to try the American independent scene. WWE, for what it's worth, has acknowledged these rumors with a post on their webpage. Triple H has officially said that he has no comments on whether or not any of these guys are going to show up, but especially in the case of AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, those guys are both very highly paid. They're very top-tier guys. It's basically a case of where else could they possibly be going. And it's going to be really funny if they all show up on TNA in about an hour.
I want to slap you so hard for saying that. I want to knock the taste out of your mouth for a week.
All right, so let's go ahead and go around the table. Dan, what are your thoughts on the situation, and where do you think this is going to lead everybody?
It's almost too early to speculate at this point. It's very easy to just... Ow.
They're passing punches around the table. This is what happens when you get 6 people in a room.
You gotta warn me this first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, unfortunate for New Japan. Obviously, there's a lot of great talents that they're not going to have available anymore.
Break it down already.
Or as available, whatever the case will be with Nakamura and however long he sticks around.
Mm-hmm.
But more people out there in the free agent market, if you'll call it that, is a good thing no matter what promotion you're a fan of. It allows you to, play dream booking and do all that type of stuff. So from the wrestling fans' perspective, it's a good thing. I mean, we could speculate for a bit and talk about it.
Absolutely. Minor?
I think it's a good thing. Get these 4 guys in, see what they can do in the world of WWE, and go from there. But, you're already seeing things online, and it's,
Yeah, the rumor mill has gone crazy. Just gone
like,
crazy.
Oh, these guys are going to get buried when they get there. You never know what's going to happen. It's just, let's just play a game of wait and see and have fun with it. Have fun with the ride. So,
John?
I'm going to take this all as being fact because it was on the internet, and everything on the internet is true.
Must be.
Abe Lincoln said that, right?
Yes, definitely. The thought of AJ Styles showing up in a WWE ring has given me such a raging erection that I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with it. There's no amount of
ruin those hands.
Ruin these hands. Just the potential of an AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler match Just
That's the dream for you.
that's my.
That's the dream.
I'm realistic here.
Who's going to win that match?
Like my
Doesn't matter.
not Dolph. Like the dream is AJ shows up at the Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble. The internet wrestling community gets turned on its ear as now anything can happen again. It's the Wild West shootout of pro wrestling.
But you're shooting for the water tower, not the stars.
And you're definitely shooting for the water tower.
Newbie.
I mean,
Dominic.
are we going with, is this good or bad? This is obviously great. Like this situation. I mean, anytime that I can like look at wrestling news and be like, fuck if I know what's going to happen next. It's great. I mean, I've already booked AJ Styles for WrestleMania, which I'll get to that later. And I'm betting you $1 to your 5 that what I said comes true. So I think it's going to be great. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I do. But it's great.
I say book him like Brett Clark.
And Bill, as the most casual fan at this table, what are your thoughts on? There you go. Super casual now, taking the shirt off. What are your thoughts on?
I
this
just
whole
hope
thing?
that all of them go to NXT first, even though some of us don't think they will, because AJ is like the legend of all legends, and why wouldn't you just show up and be on Raw eventually?
Well, that's the
Right
problem.
away.
They're gonna go to NXT, but he's an 18-year veteran. I don't understand how you don't.
I agree.
Don't straight line him
Well,
to the main
I don't
roster.
necessarily. I don't know 100% for sure if he's a deadlock. If him and Nakamura are deadlocks to go to NXT first. It seems
the
like they are
rumor.
kind of taking the. I've heard rumors both ways.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's
There's
the
so
thing.
many
You can't
rumors
rely-
flying
yeah, you
around
can't rely on
that you have
anything.
no idea what's going to happen.
Well, I
That's what's exciting about it.
I guess here's the other question. What way bringing them into the company is going to make WWE the most money? Because that's their bottom line.
And that's what I think. I think bringing in a guy like AJ Styles into NXT is not the right way to use him in terms of getting money, because AJ Styles is really, he's the Sting of this generation. He is the guy who has always been in the opposition. He's considered one of the best in the world, but he's never really wrestled for WWE. So to bring him in as like a developmental thing and give him a few months of build and then bring him into the main roster, it seems like it's wasting that.
That's a great analogy, because now I'm thinking back and I'm like, all right, so we got Surfer Sting, and then we got like cool, like Phenomenal One, like Hood Up Sting, and then we got like Brooding Sting in the rafters, and we got like pouty AJ Styles in the stairwell. So just as long as he isn't the vigilante AJ Styles, who's
Yes.
real pouty all the
Hey,
time.
at least he
like,
didn't start out like Johnny Polo, so that's going for him.
I don't think AJ Styles is going to NXT. I think AJ Styles going. He'll debut at the Rumble. No, he goes where everybody goes. He's going to WrestleMania. He's going to face Chris Jericho. That's my bet. I'm putting $1 on it. You're giving me $5 when it happens.
It's 5-1 odds. It's pretty good.
But of all the people,
Like 2-1 odds.
I'm not going to put a slap bet down on something that's rumors at the moment.
5 slaps to 1 though.
All right, maybe,
SBC,
but
I can see this
I'm 99% positive that AJ Styles is going to wrestle Chris Jericho.
And as far as Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, Gallows has already been in WWE. He's already acclimated to the WWE lifestyle. You know, putting him straight back into the main card, that makes sense. And as a tag team, I like the idea of them hanging around there. They definitely open up a new floodgate of talent.
Even if they do the predictable thing with him and make him a bodyguard again, at least, it's something.
Okay.
He's a good heavy.
if Gallows comes back, who else comes back?
They got the Dudleys. That's all I'm saying.
So here's the two things that I think are the best ways to handle this influx of talent. Number one, let's go ahead and presume that these guys are all going to NXT. If that does in fact happen, if we see AJ and we see Nakamura on NXT, I think it's going to be because they are going to make a serious push in 2016 to just make NXT the second brand. It's not developmental anymore. And it kind of is
It
already.
just becomes TNA. I mean, you got Joe, you got AJ Styles.
That's true, but
James
TNA
Storms
were
is going
both
back
right,
to TNA
That
though,
I've heard.
to face Bobby Roode, most likely, in an hour.
I can see Nakamura going to NXT. He has to be Americanized. We need we need to assimilate him to our style. With that being said, when he gets called up to the main roster, he's such a unique character. Just in watching, him and AJ Wrestle Kingdom, I'd put him akin to the Great Muta debuting in WCW. Running him that way would finally give you an Asian superstar in the WWE that would get over.
So the other thing I think that they could do, and this kind of incorporates everybody in, is they're going to go whole hog on just reforming the Bullet Club. Finn Balor moves up to the main roster, leads this group, or AJ leads this group, or they co-lead it, and it's going to be Finn, AJ, Gallows, and Anderson, and who knows if anybody else in there, and then they're going to just start running roughshod, and they're basically, WWE is just going to ape the Bullet Club idea, whole hog, with a different name, the Balor Club.
That's the first thing I thought.
Finn Balor has been very brazen about his ambitions for 2016 of winning the WWE title and everything like that, and from going to saying, I don't know if I want to move up to the main roster, to, I'm going to win the belt this year. It's kind of a big jump for Finn. So it makes me think that there's some sort of big thing planned. And if they do that, then they have a way of bringing Nakamura in, because they could do a whole thing around Hideo Itami comes back. Finn was the one that put him out of action. That gets revealed. So then Hideo is just going to fight the Bullet Club, but he's not going to have enough on his own. So he brings in reinforcements the same way he brought in Finn Balor to fight off the Ascension. And he brings in Nakamura, a guy who's dealt with him before. Yeah. Exactly. So, and then you start doing this. It's going to almost, with the League of Nations and the family, and now this potential, if this was to happen, the social outcast, we're going back to like the faction days of pro wrestling.
Man.
And I genuinely think that if those guys do all get signed to the WWE, they're going to do something like that. Because, like we said before this went on, they had to spend a shitload of money to get Balor, or to get Nakamura and AJ Styles. Like, why would they get Anderson and Gallows two at the same time unless they were planning on using at least some of them together as like a package
Like
thing?
I said, Gallows is a heavy at least, and that's the one place I can see him as in faction situation.
I mean, that's where he shines. That's where he's always been
guy,
like,
he's a big imposing figure, and why not?
Right.
Anderson and Gallows are a more intimidating version of the Ascension. They're the
John, do not make me welcome you to the wasteland.
They're the big powerhouse tag team that WWE doesn't have, and I completely 100% would slap bet that their only intention is to put them in as a tag team.
Personally, I'm waiting for Festus to come back.
It just seems like such a weird timing for that, because it's just like, why do that? Like I said, because they had to deplete a bunch of their talent budget on those two guys. Why throw two more into the mix just because?
We're not scared about like Invasion 2.0 angle, because that's what we're coming to. We're coming up on WrestleMania, and then after WrestleMania.
Like I said, if it's going to be an invasion, it's going to be a Bullet Club invasion and not a New Japan invasion.
Well, yeah,
because if it was going to be a New Japan invasion, they would have pulled those four guys differently.
Right.
I think. The four guys you get for a New Japan invasion are Asian to be number one. You pull Nakamura, Okada, Tanahashi, and Tetsuya Naito or some shit like that. You don't pull three American guys.
Still, but it wouldn't it wouldn't be like a WCW invasion. I guess it would be more of the outsiders. Right. Situation.
Yeah.
WWE, these are where the big boys play. You hear that adjective? Play.
I heard
that adjective.
We don't play. We're not here to play.
But I could see it going down like that. I just don't think it'd be as shocking as the whole outsiders thing.
I don't think it'll be as shocking, but it could be good.
It could be great.
So,
it's AJ Styles.
Here's the
thing. It would be better than what's going on right now.
Here's the thing around all of this. The Royal Rumble is when?
A couple weeks.
January 24th.
January 24th.
As an avid Royal Rumble lover.
Okay. So that is enough time. Nakamura's the only one with the belt. He may drop that on the way to the next big New Japan show, which is the New Beginning, which I believe is the first weekend in February. So that time's after that. But there are smaller shows between then. He could potentially drop it on any of those. But the other three guys are kind of free to go whenever they want.
Nakamura also has obligations with Ring of Honor. I read earlier today. Yes. So he's coming, but...
Yeah, but so did Joe.
That's true.
Right.
They could pull him at any time and go, nope, sorry. That's basically... Nakamura finishing up is just kind of a formality.
Right.
But, like I said, if they're going to do some sort of Bullet Club invasion or something like that, these three guys are ready in time. Do they pull the trigger at the Royal Rumble? Do they bring in these three guys and then have, like, pull the... I don't think WWE has the balls to do this anymore, to have, like, AJ show up and then he wins because of the Bullet Club, or Balor wins, which would be nuts to have him hold both titles, which I don't think will happen. But,
It made me so mad when the Young Bucks were like, WWE doesn't have the balls to let us come in and run roughshod over their tag division.
I mean...
It's like, you're not going to bring in guys that you didn't make, put them over the guys that you just got over.
No. See, this is where I disagree, because again, this is a thing of, I think WWE needs to get out of, at least from a creative perspective. If you're talking business and them being a publicly traded company, you're absolutely right.
I don't give a shit about any of that.
Right, but if you're talking artistically or creatively, I think WWE needs to be willing to go, okay, what's the most interesting story we can tell, and do that thing. Because basically, if they do it correctly, whoever they tell us is a badass, we're going to see as a badass. And if AJ shows up and these guys just kick ass and take over, it's going to be believable.
Here's the other thing, too. With Rollins out, everybody started talking about what are their options. Now is the time for them to take a chance. Now if they're going to do something crazy with, like Sheamus or Reigns or whoever else, is now the time to do something crazy.
They just got Reigns
they're in the middle of that.
over. It took them a year.
Yeah.
Reigns got over by being screwed over and over again. Which is the same story been told a million times.
Right, but he's still got over it. He got older by beating up a 70-year-old man. Like,
all right.
So, but here's the question though: is Reigns with the belt more of a money draw than AJ with the belt coming out of nowhere?
Yes,
you think
absolutely.
So? Okay,
Reigns with the belt is more.
How many people have tuned out of WWE that are going to tune back in compared to? I mean, sure, okay, you're going to get more tune-ins. But
are you going to lose anybody who's watching now?
I don't think you're going to lose anybody, but I don't think it actually ups anything from your normal audience. It's not going to...
I don't know.
It's not going to bring back your turned away WWE guys.
So tell me, which WrestleMania main event would you be more interested in? Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, or Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles? Or AJ Styles in there some way? Like, all of a sudden he comes in and he's...
Can Roman Reigns not be in the main event?
Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles.
I don't want that match either.
Okay, just basically a match you've seen before versus a match you have not
AJ
seen.
Styles in a match.
Yes, AJ Styles in the main event of WrestleMania versus any other combination of any wrestlers that are currently
that
in WWE.
Sounds great, but AJ Styles is already booked against Chris Jericho for WrestleMania. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this. It is happening. I swear to God. Yes, AJ Styles versus anybody, but like... Would you rather see Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 33, or would you rather see The Ultimate Warrior versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 33? Everybody's going to go with the more out of the ordinary like situation. Like, of course, like...
So what's the disadvantage of doing that then?
WWE is really bad at building characters, and you have to build AJ Styles to the kids.
Why?
I don't know.
They
bad at building characters?
No. I agree that they're bad at building characters. Why do you need to build them up? I think that there's some wrestlers that just people in general that just show up and you just know right away that they are special and there's something. Like and all you have to do is let AJ wrestle a few lengthy matches on Raw or on the Fast Lane or whatever the fuck the February show is going to be called. Done. I mean, all you have to do is have one great match and you're in. And that's all they need to do is just let him do his thing. And you don't need to have a bunch of exposition or a bunch of backstory to build the guy up or a fucking history. Because we've proven before that when you bring certain guys up or you move certain guys in, the history doesn't matter. Half the guys they bring up from NXT, they don't even reference what they did in NXT, or they do it in passing. They don't really...
They do now.
The stories still don't really carry over. Kevin Owens, the stuff he did in NXT, the people he feuded with, doesn't really matter.
It did a little bit. They turned away from it.
The thing is, though, with Kevin Owens getting brought up is...
They dropped
what he did on the main roster was far better than what he did in NXT, just because in terms of accolades,
Right.
like he beat John Cena on his
Yeah,
first
no,
night.
you're right.
You don't have to talk about anything else.
I know, but then they have the
after
match
that when
between
you're in
him and
WWE.
Neville, and that's done in 30 seconds, and Neville gets a flash pin when those two
I
hated
don't
each other
agree
in
with
NXT.
things that happen.
Right, but I'm just saying I don't think that they
I mean, he beat his ass.
right, but
like-
I don't think that they really care as much about building stuff up necessarily, especially if there's a person who's real. I mean, Braun Strowman, they didn't introduce him; he just came in and now he's a killer. You know,
Yeah,
and
but he doesn't
can-
talk.
can
AJ
figure out
Styles is
anybody.
going
on
to
the
talk.
Bayou, man.
Yeah, but well, the thing is they
Can that
can.
go against your point? They just brought Braun Strowman in and he did it. Can't they just bring AJ Styles in and he can do it?
I'm not
He can
saying
still
that
book
they
Strowman.
can't do that. I'm saying he can. I'm just saying I don't know if they will because they didn't do it with Joe. They didn't do it with a lot of other very high level people they brought in.
There's a big difference though with Brahm. You bring Brahm in, let him kick ass, but he's still hovering around mid card. He's still an enforcer. It's not a big deal.
He's a heavy.
Yeah, he's not main eventing
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
You bring in AJ. I
Although he
want
might be
AJ
wrestling
to-
Undertaker.
to main event WrestleMania.
You think so?
That's one of the rumors. Is him against Undertaker. I mean,
Shoot my own
Well,
face.
everybody who's not in WWE, the auto rumor is them and Undertaker. So
yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
I say if you book.
Sting versus Undertaker.
I-
Sting with all the broken bones in his body. He's basically a Jello.
With AJ, I can accept him being a strong leader in a Bullet Club-like situation and, you know, being pushed as a guy that Roman Reigns knows he can beat. Because AJ Styles, being as great a competitor as he is and as strong a competitor as he is, he may not have what Roman Reigns would say is, like, enough to beat him. And they can go based off of that for months.
Okay,
You know,
we're
by-
talking
you know,
kayfabe. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Well, yeah, gang warfare. Basically,
Yeah.
you know, Roman Reigns is outnumbered by these guys, and you know,
So he puts the
he's-
shield back together?
But he's not though because he has the Usos
No.
and Dean though. I mean,
he, you know,
Yeah.
and even then, you don't need that. Just Roman Reigns is going to get constantly trounced.
Also-
and then AJ Styles is going to get over by the skin of his teeth, but he's still going to be champion, and you know,
Also, why are we booking AJ as a heel automatically?
we don't need to.
true.
Why would he be?
He
I mean,
does his best work as heel in my opinion.
He does his best work just working.
Yeah,
True.
You know,
there you go.
when
True.
when I started watching TNA and paying $10 a pay-per-view every
He was a
week,
face.
it was because Jim Crow told me, "Hey, there's this guy AJ Styles. You need to check him out." And I'm like, "All right, I'll give this TNA."
So let's
thing a
clarify that Jim Crow is not the guy who made like the Jim Crow laws are based on. Is actually a friend of yours.
Fuck that guy.
It always throws me off when you mention Jim Crow.
shot. That's why I do it. You
I
know,
always confuse Jim Crow and Joe Tillman. for obvious reasons.
he can go out there.
No
he
one
can work
does
as a
that.
tweener. He can kick ass, and people will see him and they'll respect it. 18 years ago, I saw him like, wow, this kid's got a lot of talent. And I'm watching,
Eric
Wrestle
Harris?
Kingdom, and I'm like, 18 years later, he looks physically more imposing than he did before, and he hasn't lost a step. He's
Right, but I think the fact that he's so goddamn good and he's going to come out of nowhere
So
just
fucking
makes
good.
me feel like that's more of a heel thing. Like I'm this badass, I show up and I don't want to work my way up the division. I'm just going to take what I want right now. That to me reads heel.
That's Kevin Owens 6 months ago, right?
Right? Yeah, very true.
But then when you talk, you got Country Bumpkin, and
That's true. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
And then the other thing is, everyone, well, not Joe, but everyone else had to have a name change. You're going to call him Aaron Jones?
No,
That's-
I genuinely
they
believe
keep
that
it.
if they sign an AJ, they keep his name.
I
think they
couldn't
buy the rights to
imagine-
it?
I really do, because if they risked it with Samoa Joe, they risked it with AJ. I think that those two were the last guys in the independent circuit whose name value was really that important. I think Nakamura will get a name change for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The Carl Anderson and Gallows 50-50.
Well,
Was
Gallows already
Gallows-
worked
Gallows-
as Gallows.
Yeah,
so.
but
Right,
okay, so
Luke Gallows, Doc Gallows. He'll probably go back to being Luke Gallows,
last
maybe.
time Gallows was in WWE, was it with Trade Society?
Or they'll,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
or they'll just call
So,
him Gallows.
The whole WWE CM Punk beef, like, are they going to be resistant to bring Gallows back because last time he was associated with Punk and Punk has gone on
I don't
record
think anybody
defending him
remembers.
multiple times? Or
That-
is,
I mean,
or
how
that
many
was
years
the-
ago
or is
was
the WWE
that?
fan base too
I think
doesn't remember last year, let alone
If-
Trade
I don't
Society.
remember
Yeah.
yesterday,
anything,
let alone.
Is that why they have all the flashbacks like, all the
Anything-
damn
Yes,
time?
yes, that's why they do all
it
the
doesn't matter
recaps.
who it is. Anything they can do to make money off of whoever it is, they'll do it.
If Joey
That's it.
Mercury has
They're
a
all
job,
about business.
then Luke
Yeah.
Gallows connection,
That's
Solid point.
Yeah.
That's fair.
face smash.
So the other option is saving these guys for after the Royal Rumble, potentially even after WrestleMania. We always know that after the Raw after WrestleMania, they always like to have their big shake-up and do their
Yeah,
big
but
thing.
it's in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
That crowd. I mean, if it was in like New York
I don't know.
or
It's not a big
Philly or
Where-
Chicago.
Where is the Rumble this year?
Dallas.
Oh,
the Rumble.
we're talking about after
Rumble.
WrestleMania. The Rumble is in Miami because I looked this up today.
Okay, so that puts them in AJ country.
I mean, all right.
Florida
yeah.
is, yeah, fair.
The
Okay,
Florida
but if we're
plan
going
had-
everybody's country,
NXT country.
right,
yeah.
but that's
Well, TNA.
TNA country.
yeah.
right,
you
but,
know,
yeah.
but
TNA
that's an
ran out of
area
Florida.
where AJ is known. Whereas if you
Tex-
everyone should know who AJ is, but if you have a show in bumfuck Egypt and everyone's like, "Oh, we love John Cena, we love Roman Reigns. Who's this AJ guy?" It's not going to have
Why
any
are they
effect.
having the Royal Rumble at bumfuck
To the best of my,
Egypt?
to the best of my knowledge, there are no shows
they're
booked
gonna
in,
be
booked in
booking.
bumfuck Egypt between now and WrestleMania.
All right. First off, it's 3 miles from parts unknown.
Everything's 3 miles
It's
from
gonna be like
parts unknown.
It's gonna be like WrestleMania 7. There's gonna be a terrorist threat. They're gonna move it to bumfuck Egypt, and that's where they're gonna hold it.
Who moves it from a terrorist threat to bumfuck Egypt?
Hey,
First
I
off,
don't
can
book,
we?
I don't book this shit.
First
okay?
off, bumfuck Egypt is just like
There's like 6
Gaddafi
people in
Egypt.
Bumfuck Egypt just
When
being
have you ever
so
seen this
excited
company
right
use
now.
a lot of logic in regards to what they do lately?
They don't use
When
Bumfuck
they-
Egypt.
You know what? Logic-wise, Charles Robbins should have counted that pin last night, right?
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Which pin?
Okay, so Vince was the ref, and then they got the other guy, the bad ref, evil ref, and Vince fucks up
Armstrong.
his spot.
Oh, Armstrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Armstrong comes out,
Oh, I watched it.
counts, he kicks out, and then another ref, Roman hits the spear, and then whatever random dark-haired ref comes out and counts the 3 count. And I was just like, no, it should be Little Nate. Little Nate is like
It should always be Little Nate.
yeah. If it's like something of that importance, and they've already like they made a big deal about him in like NXT being like the official of officials.
Nobody's
like,
gonna forget Lil Nate, no matter
Champagne
what.
of officials.
Yeah, there you go.
We're going by the Miller
Champagne.
Lite.
The champagne.
Both in terms of hair color
Yes.
and in terms of quality.
Now I
champagne of
need a beer.
zippers.
But all right, we're wildly off topic. But
Yeah.
that just made me really annoyed because I'm like, man, this is a Charles.
But that's
Robbins
the other
movie.
option is you have them do it after WrestleMania. But again, like I said, I honestly getting those guys really gives me the vibe of this is the year we're making NXT a real thing and not just developmental, especially with all the rumors of them buying up Evolve and making Evolve like a developmental to developmental, which has been a thing for a while now. And there has been like talks with them, and they've done like articles on Evolve on WWE's website. So
Well, Joey
there's-
Styles runs their website, right? WWE.com.
I think
He
so.
used to,
Yeah.
anyhow.
Yeah.
Probably still does.
So there's a lot of talk, and I think that's probably where it'll go, and that's probably honestly because think about all the dream matchups you want to see with these guys, and most of
AJ
them are in
Dolph?
NXT. Yes.
AJ Dolph.
Most of them are in NXT anyways. So I genuinely think that maybe this is the year that they're like, well, we're gonna really make this a thing. We're gonna bolster it up with some outside talent and some big buzz, and then off we go.
But at what point have you replaced and filled your touring developmental brand and just turned it into an indie brand? You know what I mean? At
That's
what
what I
point
think
have
they're
you-
going to do this year.
What
basically.
have you? Yeah, but do you, like at what point is too much, and now you got to like knock back your guys who have been improving? I don't want Jason Jordan and Chad Gable to go away.
No,
Don't take 'em
Nobody
away from
wants
me.
them to
Take
go
away
away.
JJ.
But honestly, I think
That's
that
sick.
that NXT is going to be, like I said, the Interscope to WWE's Capitol Records. It's going to be, this is the wrestling promotion. It's the end goal in NXT is no longer going to be main roster promotion. It's going to be like, okay, certain guys fit better here, certain guys fit better here. We're just going to do it that way, at least for the time being, because, like I said, the difference between the two is so fucking night and day between the quality of the program that they clearly just have no idea how to translate the success of NXT to the main roster. So I think that this may be the year that they just say, we're not going to try and translate this anymore. We're just going to let it be its own thing and give it more time and more money, and then we're going to let the main roster be its own thing and give that the same amount of time and money we've been giving it, and that this is the start of that.
This is what WCW could have been. This is what ECW could have been. This is what
SmackDown
Raw
could have
versus
been.
SmackDown could have been. This is what that could have been, but it's happening years later, and they finally somehow got it down to a science because, God forbid,
And that's
you take
another
the time
thing
with it, and
with-
then you do something special with it.
Speaking of SmackDown re-debuting on USA Network, and they're talking about being big changes, and Mauro Ranallo is going to be doing commentary and shit like that.
Byron Saxton's now in his third booth.
Yeah, so
in a week,
they're doing
for some
something.
reason.
He's going to be in the coal mine.
They're planning on doing some sort of big mix-up, so maybe, this time next year, SmackDown is the NXT show.
Yeah.
Maybe it's NXT SmackDown, I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be something where it's a weird thing
It's
of
gradual.
these guys are too good to be in NXT, but I don't know if they're going to hit with the main roster crowd, so I think that maybe they're just going to try and bring NXT up to their level.
To go back to last week's discussion, I don't like the gimmicks never really translate. They're good for 2 weeks in WWE.
Don't be a lemon.
Or hey everybody,
God.
I'm Jerry Lawler, notorious child molester. Let's all fandango together.
Let's just do this the rest of the show.
And it killed it. And it killed it. Your show's dead. Fandango's dead. It was just terrible. You can't.
Well, fucking hurts me.
You can't bring him up like Tyler Breeze.
What hurts me, that's what hurts me. It's Tyler Breeze. That hurts a lot because that guy.
Well, like I said, because
Super
the
old.
problem with WWE and what they do with NXT now is when they pull up an NXT guy, they just kind of go, go, and that's it. And then they're just like,
Remember back at
Where's
They give
Dolph
him the
Ziggler? I need to beat somebody.
Remember back at the NXT show when Owens screamed out to Tyler Breeze, "Do stuff." That's basically what they fucking do. Is they go,
they don't
stuff.
give you any sort of every time an NXT guy comes up, they should do a fucking sizzle reel of that guy and be like, this is what he did here, this is why he's awesome, and this is what his character is.
When's Sami Zayn coming back?
Oh, he's back.
back, yeah.
When's Sami Zayn going up to the main roster?
Okay, well, let's back on subject. As far as the New Japan guys, I would like to also comment. I don't think this is definitely a lot for New Japan to handle at once, but I think they're going to recover really well from it. Their roster is so deep, and they have so many people they can bring up and so many new people they can sign that they're going to be fine.
Indie wrestling is
They're at their best
I mean,
point
it's
right now,
full,
anyway. So I mean,
Yeah.
everywhere is the rosters are stacked,
Yeah.
and full right now. There's so much talent out there. You can find
Yeah, so
replacements.
this isn't going to... I mean, the thing is, AJ Nakamura have both been at the top, but they weren't at the top at the time. They were feuding for their secondary belt, which is much closer to their top belt than the Intercontinental belt is to the world, to the heavyweight belt in WWE, but it's still a secondary title. It looks like they're having plans for a big push for Kenny Omega. Good for him. They just brought in... The Young Bucks are now full-time under them. So they have stuff, and they have so many people. As a matter of fact, they just announced their own developmental promotion that they're doing called Lionsgate. So they have a lot of stuff. This is a blow to them, but it's by no means going to put any sort of death knell on them. And I think it's more just kind of a thing of circumstance than the start of a new brand war or professional wrestling war.
It'd be a really weird.
It would be really weird.
Brand war.
Like I said,
Yeah.
unless New Japan decided they're going to start moving into the States, which I don't think is going to happen. We talked about that in an earlier episode.
and night.
The Japanese are attacking Charlotte Flair.
a Pearl Harbor job, if you will.
Can we get Jim Ross back at least?
Can we get Matt Stryker back? Can they
Yeah.
take Matt Stryker?
No, I hate Matt Stryker.
Just Corey
How
Graves.
can you hate Matt Stryker?
Matt Stryker, and it's funny, I just talked about this earlier today. Matt Stryker has some brief moments of being really, really good and really poignant, filled in by 90% bullshit and nonsense.
Yeah, but I only remember the good parts, and then I think he's great all the
I
time.
can only think of the nonsense.
You're WWE's favorite band.
God, I can.
but so does JBL. JBL's half.
So
nothing.
JBL is the good guy is the good announcer that you're comparing to Stryker?
Are we supposed to compare him to Michael Cole?
He's a wrestling
No,
guy.
there's just very few very good wrestler or announcers around. I don't
Corey
think.
Graves. Put Corey Graves on the main show. I'm telling you.
JBL did
Corey
mention
Graves.
Too Cold Scorpio on Raw. Well, he said Scorpio, but I knew who he was talking about.
Yeah.
And Dean Ambrose knew we were talking
Dean
about.
Ambrose. Yeah, Dean Ambrose is like,
he
what?
also,
Scorpio reference?
he also, despite being a person who talks and gets paid to talk for a living, can't speak fucking English properly.
You shut your mouth about JBL.
Dolph Ziggler. They can't fucking pronounce the
that's
names.
You watch
Close.
your mouth, Maggle.
Yeah,
Their job
exactly.
is to talk
Where's
for
Jim
hours
Crow?
on end. They're allowed one.
No, he says that constantly. That isn't like a thing he said
had a
one
heart
time.
attack on air.
Listen-
and you're gonna yell at
Lola
JBL
had a
for
heart
saying
attack on-
Maggle and Zigger.
Lola
That
had a heart
Dolph
attack on
Ziggler
air
boy.
and is still a better announcer than JBL.
Let's be honest, JBL probably had a couple in him.
In the middle of his fucking heart attack, still a better announcer than JBL. Because, like I said, he can say goddamn names properly. You know,
I mean, yeah, he did call Michael Cole JR at Elimination Chamber,
that was
which was the
amazing.
greatest thing because I
was
felt like
amazing.
he just had like this flashback where he's like, "Oh, look at that, JR! You just call me JR," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I must have forgot how much I fucking hate you."
wishful thinking.
I love that they just kept that going. That joke going for like 5 minutes more than it needed to too.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's just kind of go around and give.
Can we keep it tight?
We can no, we
No,
can't keep
it's
it tight.
trademark.
It's trademark.
We gotta
Stop
keep
it.
it tight.
Keep it snug.
Anybody? Any final comments on the signing of these four guys, on what they think is going to happen and what they think should happen?
I think
Whoever wants to.
I think what's going to wind up happening is they're all going to come in kind of like doing their own thing, and then eventually, you know, the whole Bullet Club thing is going to happen eventually, but not right away. I think that's what's going to happen. And Nakamura's probably going to stand on his own.
John?
Well, I can definitely see Nakamura standing on his own. I'd love to see him in a Great Muta style role. Even if you put him with Paul Heyman as a new Paul Heyman guy.
That would be so dope.
Fantastic.
Everything
Oh,
about
that is
him
so
is dope.
Jizz. My American flag shorts stay pristine.
Yeah, when I saw that, I saw the table move.
Levitation.
You know, that definitely takes care of the, translating him, getting him, Americanized, speaking English more.
Brock doesn't even speak English. He just screams like he's Paige.
He speaks Minnesota. That's what he does.
Therefore, Paul Heyman is absolutely perfect for that. AJ coming in has me totally stoked for 2016 being the best year ever in my life. Through other things.
Oh, you're
happen.
dead before any of that happens.
I'm dead. I'm dead by the end of this
Don't
goddamn
say that,
week.
Sastradamus.
Oh no!
All right, Newbie, what do you think?
It's gonna be great whenever we get there. Like whether it's at the Rumble, after the Rumble, WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, it's gonna happen and it's gonna be great. And I think that's gonna be. We're throwing punches instead of
each other
closing
again,
out
sorry.
the show. I think
throwing
it's
bows,
gonna
so-
work and I think it's gonna be great. Like if you told me these guys were coming a couple years ago, I would say
You're fucking nuts.
So you don't think that they're going to like blow it or anything?
no.
when they
I think a couple years ago they would have blown it. I think that they wouldn't know how to handle with anybody else. I think NXT has really kind of helped show what you can do with people. Because even if they're really bad at implementing what they do in NXT on the main roster, it at least kind of lets them play with stuff. Even if Vince doesn't have his hands all over it, I mean, it's got to trickle up somehow. Like, and eventually it'll get there. And I mean, I don't think they'll change AJ Styles' name. I think that name recognition is what gets them there. And I think that JBL is not going to be able to say Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. Well,
If we're being honest.
Suki.
I was gonna Shinsuke.
Nakamura.
I was gonna say, with
Nakamura.
NXT, yeah, with NXT being around now, and then you got these guys coming in. This is a really fun and exciting time for professional wrestling and sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. It's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun again. So most importantly, what you want. You want fun. You want entertainment.
Mr. Pickles?
I like your stable idea. I like all the stables coming in with the Bullet Club thing.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense to me.
Factions
Because
are
you've
great.
already got like a bunch of factions.
Yeah.
That, even they're like, here's a bunch of bad guys. Let's not
like-
bad guys, but like poor.
Like he mentioned,
performance
it
guys.
makes
Other
sense.
Put them all
guys.
in a stable.
Then
Yeah.
why would you pull? Like he said, why would you pull those guys all at the same time?
Yeah, I think the
Well, you got Finn Balor. and
having
then,
said that, yeah, I think they just take Balor and just have that crew and bring them all the way
and
up.
it's not like they can't get more talent to fill that in. That they have it.
The
WWE. But, whatever.
downside of the stable thing right now, I think, is every stable is a heel stable that's going on right now.
Social outcast.
Not the 4-man. They're the 4-man band, and you
Four-man
goddamn know it. We're 4-man band.
Well, also Roman and Dean
fucking
and the
Volkswagen
Usos
drops
are
on them.
basically a
Yeah,
faction.
that's fair, I guess.
Yeah, they're good guys.
I don't
Alright,
like
so-
that, and I'm sorry.
I don't either.
I don't know.
But
I don't think anybody should like it, and I think it's terrible.
What's that?
I guess I'll be the cynic at the table and say
Well, it's
that,
too late.
if all four even go to WWE, they're going to stagger their appearances on the main roster, and then they're just going to butcher all of it because that's kind of what happens more
Wow,
often than
all
not.
right.
I'll be the guy to say it.
You're the internet wrestling community poster for this show.
He's the cynic.
Somebody
had to do it.
Yes, you're right.
That
That has to happen.
I hope they don't, and there'll probably be a few good things that come out of it. But if we look back on this 5 years later, I think it'll be another what could have been more than oh my god.
The
this
question
I don't want it
is,
to be a Nexus
who's
situation.
going to text Kevin Nash so that Kevin Nash come sticks AJ Styles?
What's the text message my little sister Shailene sent me?
You're right. Kevin Nash is going to text himself.
OMG, Kevin Nash. WTF, thought he was dead. LOL.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Be sure to check out all of our other shows. You can check us out on YouTube just by searching Changing the Questions. If you're watching this on YouTube now, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on iTunes, give us a nice 5-star review. This is very distracting.
I'm very distracting. I'm down.
If you want to send us any feedback, give us your thoughts on what's happening with the New Japan Pro Wrestling guys and whether or not they'll make it to WWE or how they'll be used. You can send us some feedback. You can email us, changingthequestions@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Twitter at Changing the Qs, which is at Changing the QS. You can also be sure to like us on Facebook. Just search Changing the Questions for that. For Dan Peruzzi, for Mike Miner,
Hey.
Johnny Patches, Dominic Schmidt, Bill Pickles,
Y'all muggles.
I am Paul Laporte. We're the Changing the Questions crew. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Da, 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 da.